So every morning you're rushing to work, starving hungry, and you always find yourself spending £8 on a breakfast, which is unhealthy and packed full of sugar and is ridiculously expensive. I'm guessing you've tried, or at least thought about trying, meal prepping, but I'm guessing that you stopped meal prepping because it was time consuming and the food that you made just didn't taste as good as that Pret matcha bowl or carrot cake. But what if I told you can meal prep a full week of breakfast for under 400 calories that all taste delicious and you can actually save money doing it? I work full time in a busy corporate job too, and this is the only method which has actually worked for me so far, as I've been able to meal prep again and again despite being so busy. I love carrot cake from Pret. I would go to Pret, buy the little carrot cake and just have it on repeat. In fact, I could buy 2 of those little cakes and quite happily polish them off at my desk, but that's not going to happen. I'm going to make myself a low sugar version of that carrot cake so that I can have it for breakfast and not feel guilty. You can do the same too. Any foods that you love or find yourself buying again and again which are unhealthy, just remake healthier versions of it, if it makes sense. So if you love carrot cake, this recipe is for you. All you need is like a little baking tray. I've got this, which is like a 6-inch baking tin, but you can use anything and you can make it directly in the tin or tray, whatever you have. I'm all for not washing up. Just gonna get all our wet ingredients in here first. Oh. The riper the banana, the better. This recipe fits into my meal prep philosophy of being realistic and repeatable. By making it directly into the baking tin, you're saving yourself time in the kitchen otherwise spent washing up, and this makes 2 large portions. I personally love this recipe as the ingredients are naturally fibre rich. Fibre rich foods help you feel fuller for longer, so you eat less without feeling hungry. They also keep your digestion healthy and reduce your cravings, so it makes it easier to lose weight. If you've not meal prepped before because you've been short on time, this recipe is perfect because it takes no time at all to make and you'll be craving it all week once you try it. This carrot cake keeps really well in the fridge. It's a perfect grab and go breakfast because when you're ready to eat it, you can pop it in the microwave and serve it warm with lashings of yogurt. The next recipe I'm going to show you is also a batch cook. Once the carrot cake is in the oven, I then just move on to quickly make it. By the time the carrot cake is finished baking, you will have 4 lovely breakfasts. All you need to do with this recipe is just dump all your ingredients into a pan and it's done. I recommend using cocoa powder with no added sugar, as you still get that chocolate flavour without that awful sugar crash that you can get in the afternoon. Oh, I love how thick and chocolatey this already is. I can just eat this right now. I'm going to add in a little bit of water just to make it a little bit runny, because I find that when you put it into your container and it cools, it goes really thick. So I actually like to make it a little bit runny. As a little tip too, I really implore you to get good Tupperware containers. So the one that I'm going to use, the reason why I love this is that you can just shove it in the microwave, in your air fryer. You don't have to worry about fussing, like getting it into a bowl because you can't put it in the microwave. No. We're all about being efficient here. I like to use dark chocolate with a very high cocoa percentage. This is 85%, which I got from Lidl. It is a bit more pricey than going for milk chocolate, but ultimately it's better for you. I find that as well that if it's got a low amount of cocoa solids, it's cheaper. So if you don't want to go for the 85, you can go for 70 and save on money. But I would say this actually tastes quite good. For me, I am a sweet tooth fiend, but I've actually gotten used to the richer taste of this sort of chocolate, and it's not too bitter. God, I always do this. I always do it so that it's not exactly a square, but I'll go for this one. I'm going to put it in for like 30 seconds and I'll check on it just to make sure it doesn't burn, because nightmare. And in case you haven't noticed, I like to use fruit like bananas, dates to sweeten up my breakfast. I don't really like using sweeteners like honey or maple syrup in excess, because really and truly they are still sugars, and I found that when I used them in excess I would crash horribly during the day. I've had a little taste of it. It tasted quite good. So I've got a little container here. I'm going to just put that in there so that when we go to work, we can just douse our porridge with this beautiful sauce. So here are our items. Let's just pretend that this is a small yogurt, okay? So it's all nicely cooled down. You get into the office, you're hungry, you heat it up. To give it a good mix, as you can see, it's really thickened. This looks amazing, but it's missing something. I think it's missing something. I actually hate fresh fruit. Well, I don't hate it, I just find it really expensive and I rarely buy it. Like today, I just decided to buy some fresh fruit because I wanted to treat myself. So if I were in London, I would have rather brought in frozen raspberries. But I say that looks pretty good. If you don't want to use raspberries, you can use anything you like. You can put in, as I said, bananas, anything cheap on top, more yogurt, or just have it as is. And I'm going to actually sprinkle on almonds because they look amazing. I love this sauce because it just adds to any dish without needing to add any extra sugar. And I do like peanut butter. I'm a fiend for it as well. So just get a teaspoon of the peanut butter into a little bowl and then just add in some water. Just gonna add water like so. Give it a mix, just press it down. This, perfect consistency. I'm just going to dump it all in one pan to save on washing up. And then mash it into the pan. So easy this, which I love. And then you want to pour in your other bits and bobs. Like for me, I've just looked in my cupboard and I have some chia seeds, walnuts, oats. But if you've got anything else, just put it in here. Like this is essentially your egg and you want to scramble it. I don't put anything else in here. But yeah, anything will do. I might actually add in some cinnamon too. So I'm going to just mix this in. I've not switched on the heat yet, so I'm just going to press it down, get the stove on, medium-high heat. Literally looks like scrambled eggs, but oats. And don't worry if it sticks to your pan, as long as you scrape it off, but make sure you press it down so it kicks. I just want to keep breaking it up with your spatula so it actually becomes like scrambled eggs, which I love. Look at that. For me, I quite like it a little bit crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. So I'm just going to leave that on as I cut up my apple. So I'll just push my oats to one side and I'm going to cook my apples because I want it a little bit soft. So it smells amazing. I love this. I do find that I'm fuller for longer with this one. I think it's because it's got quite a high fibre content. These breakfasts are just so wholesome and so easy to throw together. Even if you're a disorganized person like I, you can throw in your container, head into work and just know that you're eating something which is good for you and at the same time just getting on with it. You don't really want to be spending oodles of time in the kitchen. You want things which are quick, easy, but still healthy. And this is what that is, which is great. I try to pick recipes that don't require any assembling in the morning, so I always make sure to pre-pack them so that I can grab and go in the mornings. Batch cooking and doubling up on your ingredients saves you so much time. It is the cardinal rule to live by if you're a busy person. It's always best to make more than you can eat in one sitting. You can always freeze any leftovers or keep it in the fridge for that next time you need something healthy and quick to eat. If you enjoyed this video, check out my low sugar desserts video, which I'll link here. Again, they are all pretty quick to make and perfect for busy weeknights when you're craving something sweet. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and hopefully I'll see you again next week.